Right. Hi, Rashiqa. Could you just elaborate a little bit on some ways that companies in India market their products differently from the United States?
Well, in India, I think, in India, like starting in the 1990s, the economy opened up, and a lot of foreign companies, they were allowed to come into India and do business. So I think since the 1990s, the economy has been more consumer-driven.
Okay.
Rather than seller-driven like it was before liberalization. But still, I think a lot of marketing in India is through mass media. So companies, they try to reach as many people as possible. So the main sources of marketing and advertising are television, radio, print media, and so that's the thing. And recently, what has become more kind of prevalent in India is telemarketing, because in a lot of small cities and rural areas they don't have internet access, but cell phones are ubiquitous. So everyone has a cell phone, so you receive like text messages and calls and stuff like that, and we don't have like a do not call list or anything. So that's one way that companies try to market in India. Whereas in the US, I think a lot of this marketing and advertising is kind of individually targeted. So you have like stores which look at your shopping history and they can tell what you're buying, and they try to target you that way. And then also internet is a big source of advertising and stuff. If you're browsing, you Google something, immediately you'll see an ad pop up. So I think that's the biggest difference. Like in India, it's more, they try to get you through like billboards or things like that. But in US, it's more individually targeted.
Okay. I think that's pretty cool, the text messaging and the I know the calling obviously was a thing here of the past, but the text messaging is kind of interesting. Something we don't always see here. Have you had any personal experiences with marketing-related things in India, things that may have impacted you either positively or negatively?
Well, I haven't been to India for a long time, but from what I hear from family, that telemarketing thing is really annoying. And as I said, there's no do not call list, so they'll call, but people, they try, they identify those numbers and then they'll just not respond or something, but still it's annoying. And on the positive side, I would say that like companies, when even the foreign companies, when you go to like malls, supermarkets, they have so many sales associates. You can really get that individual service kind of thing. So I think that is a positive in a lot of ways.
It's a big positive. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else more you want to elaborate on that?
As I said, I haven't been back, so
yeah,
I don't know about that.
Okay. What are some cultural differences between India and the U.S. regarding marketing? I know you kind of touched base on that a little bit with how it's more mass marketing related versus individualized. But are there any like social norms or anything that's like frowned upon there?
Indians, they are very sensitive to their culture, and they are very protective towards their culture too. So even when the companies, I think they do like this mass marketing kind of thing, they try to tailor it to urban population versus rural population. So still there are things like, you cannot have very explicit advertising, or there are limits, people, they don't really want to see too much westernized stuff in like small towns, cities and rural areas. So there's this difference, I think, that still, people are sensitive, and you have to be careful that you don't step on toes and like family values and stuff like that.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Is there any way that they try to reach the smaller markets, the not-so-urban areas?
I would say probably that's television is one way, radio and newspapers. And as I said, cell phones, right? Everyone they have very good cell phone coverage, I would say, all over India. So yeah, that's one way. Internet, not so much. Internet and like the use of social media, that is more prevalent in bigger cities and urban areas where we have people who have like Facebook accounts and stuff like that. So probably, but still, it's not individually targeted. It would be something that a lot of people see and.
Sure. Sure.
So.
Could you elaborate more on the social media aspect of it, either like Facebook, Twitter, and how companies may reach their markets through these channels?
Again, it's more, I think, useful for the companies in urban areas where people have internet access. Smartphones, I know, are making a big impact in the markets there. So, but still, it's not individually targeted. So, like here, if, for example, if you are browsing the internet, and immediately some ad will come up that is related to what you were browsing or looking for. But I don't think that's the case in India yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
No problem. You're welcome.